Good evening, I'm Emma Jane Veer and this is Television Tonga News. In the headlines, Tonga marks White Ribbon Day with a 16-day campaign. The Roman Catholic Diocese of Niue highlights the end of the Year of Faith, and primary school students show their support of White Ribbon campaign with a cheering competition. These and more stories, including news from the Pacific, sports, world and the weather information later on in this bulletin. Let's take a look at the news in detail. Violence is not a Tongan culture, but good leadership is. That's today's theme of the International White Ribbon Day, marked November 25th each year. Here's Fatai Whaingaa with more on that story.
Tonga joins countries throughout the world in marking the day with a series of programs, including a special event held at the Davina House this morning to mark 16 days of White Ribbon campaign. The guest of honour was the Honourable Minister for Internal Affairs, Lord Vaea. He also marked the official opening of a workshop for town and district officers to carry on the White Ribbon message. Town and district officers can make a change because of their leadership roles in a society where people will listen to them and make a change. Domestic violence is mainly carried out by men, and it is about time that all men strive to make a change as well. Lord Vaea also highlighted that progress has been made to minimise domestic violence against women and children. Such developments include the approval of the Family Protection Bill, which was ascended by His Majesty King Deboer VI. The White Ribbon campaign began over the weekend with a march led by Lord Vaea and other supporters.
White Ribbon Day campaign, and of course to break the silence and end the violence. This is a topic that has been very, very difficult over the last couple of years. It's been difficult because it crosses borders, not only in ministries, but in families, and the NGOs has become very, very much part of the safe haven for the children and broken families. In August, September, we passed the Family Protection Bill, Family Protection Act, and we begin working in line with the Ministry of Police next week. And of course, beginning next year, there are other formats coming forward for the public and for the ministries. There is a general development towards the event of today.
The White Ribbon Day was initiated in 1960 after the murder of two female political leaders in the Dominican Republic. This is the 5th year Tonga has been marking White Ribbon Day. The 16-day campaign will end on December 10th, which is the International Day for Human Rights. For Television Tonga News, I'm Fatai Whaingaa.
Tonga marks its Law Week 2013 this morning, November 25th until Friday. The Law Week starts with programs on radio and television Tonga. The Solicitor General, Aminias Gefu, emphasised in a televised program that Law Week is to inform the public of the importance of law. Sinilatu tells you more.
This year's theme for Law Week is Village Law. According to the Solicitor General, Aminias Gefu, he says that this year's Law Week is unique because it focuses on laws about villages and its residents. The Attorney General's office chose this theme because they wanted to focus on laws that have a direct effect on the lives of people. Moreover, villages are experiencing development, such as the installation of their own water pumps and the establishment of their own town councils. Villages also have their own community policing programs and other events. We just want to help them in the area of the law. Mr. Gefu says in past years, focus was made on international and national laws, but this year they are focusing on regulations surrounding the village. Meanwhile, a representative from the Ministry of Internal Affairs, who manages programs with district and town officers, Fatai Sokai, says the various programs with town and district officers are well underway. However, they still face some difficulties in their line of work.
Koe pore lahi tā mau whetau lahi mo ia
The biggest challenge we face is the law. I believe our ministry is glad that this year's Law Week focuses on villages and their community. We have received queries from town officers about certain things, and we can't answer them directly as there aren't any regulations to guide them with the activities they hope to do. Several programs have been organized to mark this year's Law Week, and it includes televised programs and talkback shows on Radio Tonga. Law Week 2013 is funded by government and New Zealand's aid program. For Television Tonga News, I'm Sinila Tu.
His Majesty's Cabinet has approved for the government's Christmas and New Year break for 2013-2014 to be observed from Monday 8:30 in the morning, December 23rd, 2013, until Friday 4:30 in the afternoon, January 3rd, 2014. In a statement from the Prime Minister's office, it stated that the final day for the normal government services for this year will be on Friday, December 20th. Government will resume normal business hours Monday, January 6th next year. Meanwhile, all government offices in the Kingdom will be closed at 4 o'clock in the afternoon during the usual prayer week in the first week of January next year. The Prime Minister's office also confirmed that the upcoming public holiday for December 4th, which will be marked on Monday, December 2nd. This is in accordance with the provisions of the Public Holidays Act 2010, that any public holiday that falls upon a Thursday, Friday, Saturday or Sunday shall be celebrated on the following Monday. That's the Monday after the date of the public holiday. Therefore, any public holiday that falls upon a Tuesday or Wednesday, and that public holiday shall be celebrated on the Monday preceding the date of the public holiday. The Roman Catholic Diocese of Tonga and Niue joins the Roman Catholic religion all over the world in commemorating the end of the Year of Faith. This is marked yesterday in a special Mass service led by the Catholic of the Diocese of Tonga and Niue Bishop, Soane Patita Painimafi. It was held at the Immaculate Heart of Mary Cathedral at Maufanga. Anasiu Falekaono was there and filed this report.
The Year of Faith is marked by the Roman Catholic Church to remind its members of the importance of faith and the blessing that comes with it. The Roman Catholic Church Bishop Painimafi says that faith is a gift from God, therefore it should be nurtured and monitored wisely. Today, Roman Catholic members gather to give praise to the Lord for the theme set to mark the end of the Year of Faith. The gift of faith is the sacrament, which is the main objective for the Year of Faith. During the Mass, Bishop Baini says good leadership is seen in a person that has faith. He spoke more about the various catechism programs held to mark the Year of Faith. These are one of the important programs for the Year of Faith. I was able to hold catechism programs throughout Tongatapo, Hapai and Mava'o. Unfortunately, we couldn't reach the two newest. Throughout the Mass services, we were able to inform and educate church members on its importance. The Year of Faith began last year, October 11th. For Television Tonga News, I'm Manasi Falekaono.
From the Supreme Court, the jury trial between the former Attorney General John Cauchi and the Government of Tonga continued on Friday. In the trial, the plaintiff, John Cauchi, is seeking almost $1 million ba'anga, which he claims he's owed from the Tongan government during his contract of employment. Cauchi's legal counsel, Lucky New, cross-examined 3 government witnesses: the former Chief Secretary and Secretary to Cabinet, Baspi Kautoke, the former Prime Minister, Lord Sevelio Vailahi, and the Solicitor General, Aminias Gefu. It's Fatai Whainga'a with more on that story.
In his trial, the plaintiff John Cauchi is seeking almost $1 million pa'anga, which he claims he's owed from the Tongan government during his contract of employment. On Friday, Cauchi's legal counsel, Lucky Neil, cross-examined a government witness, Baspi Kautoke, regarding a letter he sent to Cauchi on his participation in a past Commonwealth Secretariat meeting held in London. The letter states that what Cauchi had told the Commonwealth Secretariat meeting was not true. Lucky Neil told the court that Cauchi denied the allegation, and the manner that Kautoke has made the allegation was disrespectful. However, Kautoke responded that he had done so in the proper manner, and once wrong information is released, they must bring this to light or correct it as soon as possible. A second witness called to the stand was the former Prime Minister of Tonga, Lord Sevele Wailahi, who denied an allegation that the government tried to remove John Cauchi from his position. While Lord Sevele was still under questioning by Lucky Neil, the legal counsel said that Busby has included in his letter to Cauchi that the issue at hand is under serious consideration of the Prime Minister. The letter still refers to a statement made by Cauchi during the Commonwealth Secretariat meeting, of which he had no authority from government to reveal. When Cauchi's legal counsel Lucky Neil asked Lord Sevele about the allegations which Cauchi denies, Lord Sevele replied that Cauchi did not deny it in a past meeting together when he was the Prime Minister at the time. Lucky Neil also asked Lord Sevele at what was his intended decision regarding this matter, in which Lord Sevele replied he had not intention to force Cauchi to resign from his post. The trial continued in the Supreme Court this morning with a third witness from the government called to the stand, the Solicitor General, Aminiasi Gefu. Gefu told the court that the Office of the Attorney General was handicapped or had to struggle through its work in the months after John Cauchi resigned. There were many decisions that needed to be made. Under questioning from the government's legal counsel Neil Edzed, he said an interim Attorney General was needed and Sami Waipulu was appointed to the role after July 2010. Gefu also revealed in court that in August 2011, a lawyer from Fiji, Perry Sutman, was appointed as another interim AG, in which government spent more than 63,000 per anga for his accommodation, among other costs. Gross examination of Aminias Gefu continued in the afternoon by Lucky Neil. Mr. Neil asked Gefu whether he was aware that prosecutors would be brought in from overseas for the inquiry of the Royal Commission into the sinking of the MV Princess Ashiga. Gefu replied yes, and negotiations were made for the cost, and they planned to include this in the government budget for the following year. Gefu told the court he had informed the Cabinet Committee about the costs for hiring legal counsels and prosecutors from abroad, and they were surprised at the costs. Gefu adds that it is the responsibility of the former Attorney General and himself to provide advice and suggestions to the Cabinet Committee, but they had no authority to make a decision. In his statement, he said he was not officially informed that their suggestions were not approved by Cabinet. Instead, he was made aware by the budget approved for the Ministry of Justice. When Lucky Neil questioned the Solicitor General why they didn't seek for funding overseas, Gefu replied they had already spent a lot of money into the inquiry of the Royal Commission into the sinking of the MV Princess Ashiga. Gefu was also questioned why prosecutors from overseas are given the role of Attorney General, in which he replied it's to make their duties more independent. The trial completed its questioning of the three government witnesses and will continue tomorrow.
Children are also led in on raising awareness on ending violence against women and children. The Women and Children's Crisis Centre holds a singing and cheering competition for government primary school students today, and based on themes surrounding White Ribbon Day. This is held at the Longalonga Freewisian Church Hall. Anasiu Falekaono has more on that story.
The Adela Government Primary School is one of the participants in the singing and cheering competition to combat violence against women and children. To be happy at home and to eliminate any forms of violence against women and children is the aim of the program. Speaking to Television Tonga News, the community education trainer from the Women and Children Crisis Centre, Lesila To'ia, says the drive aims at guiding children to have a better future without violence. We need to let the children know how pointless and useless violence is. They need to grow up in a healthy environment without violence. They can carry this with them if they ever have a family of their own. 8 government primary schools take part in the one-day cheering competition for primary schools. For Television Tonga News, I am Anasiu Falekaono.
That's the local news. Pacific is next.